Hi guys, I'm Dave and I work in the DoubleClick team.
Hey guys, I'm Aidan and I work here in Google in the agency team. So today we're here to talk to you about how you can use data in your marketing activities and in your planning.
The challenge in the industry is that there's too much data available and it makes it very hard to action that data, particularly for media planners.
So we ran a survey amongst media planners in the agencies that we work with. The really interesting thing was that 80% of them think that real-time data is in fact influencing their planning. But the other thing that they mentioned was that 40% of them really think that old habits are dying hard. It means that they're not using the new tools and technologies that they have available to them.
80% is absolutely shocking. I couldn't believe that number, and it's not something that I would have, expected before we did that survey. We're going to focus on 4 main points that are going to highlight the main challenges and the main solutions to solving this data problem.
So the first thing that we wanted to look at was is real-time data really influencing planning in the right way, and are planners really utilizing real-time data in a way that makes sense? The interesting thing that came back from this was that planners feel like there's too much noise, there's way too much data, and they're really overwhelmed by all the data that modern day technology allows them to have. So it's a big challenge for people to disseminate that data and use it in a useful way in their planning.
And the key point to that is real-time data. No one argued the fact that data is really important to planning, but there was a debate as to how real-time data can influence your plan. Another point of interest was the debate on a single source of truth for that data. So, for example, you're a planner. What data do you look at to help you plan that campaign? What's that single source of truth that helps you drive that insight? And I suppose the consensus that we found was that there's no real single source of truth, right? It's a very complex world. So it's very difficult to understand and kind of comprehend the amount of data that's available and how fragmented it is. The second main point we wanted to focus on is that technology will always beat you at chess, but not at Texas Hold'em. Okay, so technology doesn't really have any empathy. And another way of looking at this is that technology and platform companies can understand what you buy, how you buy them, but not really why you buy them. And that's a really key point.
So the third really interesting point was all around planning and execution. What we found really interesting, and especially in my job, is that planners and people that work in buying or executing teams don't speak to each other enough. The challenge here is that the people who execute media are the ones who sit on all of the insight and all of the data. So there was a big challenge to the planners that we spoke to try and come up with ways where they can speak more often and get insight from their execution teams.
The final point, and I thought probably the main point that we saw from our conversations, was that it's all about people. And I know this is almost oversimplifying in some ways what we're talking about, but equally, if you don't have the people that are comfortable around data, comfortable finding really good insights between different parts of data, then you're never really going to succeed. And there was 2 points to that. There was really the competitive advantage is in the people you have, not the technology. So technology is something that anyone can use ultimately, but the competitive advantage is how those people use technology and how those people take data from those technology, be it media buying, analytics, or other marketing technologies.
Right guys, so just to remind you, what we tried to figure out here today is real-time data really influencing planning? And those words real-time are very important. Ultimately, what we think is that actually it is influencing it, but probably not in the best way that it could. And it's probably primarily influencing optimizing and activating rather than longer term planning, which I actually think is maybe a big missed opportunity, but a bigger challenge to try and crack that.
So one thing that was quite interesting to us after we reflected on the conversations we had was that there's kind of two parts of the table here. One, does data inform a plan, inform a strategy, and help you create ideas?
No.
Or does data kind of help you prove a plan that you've already created yourself?
Yes.
And that's where we struggle, because I like to think in a kind of best in class scenario that yes, data is the thing that absolutely helps you deliver and create that idea.
Yeah, and look, I tend to disagree with Dave here, and this is where we sit on both sides of the fence, where I think that there needs to be something that you're looking for. So data can actually support or disprove an idea that you might have. And I think that's the way to go about things. But we can sit on opposite sides of the fence, and there's different approaches in this space, I think, right?
Yeah, it definitely just reiterated some of the challenges we found with the conversations we had, because we're kind of talking about activation and planning. We're talking about trying to make things clear when it's a messy environment. But yeah, I still think I'm right.
All right, that was a really good chat, Dave.
Yeah, I really enjoyed that. Thanks for watching, guys. We'll be back here next month.
And for more data and insights, just feel free to check out Think with Google, and we'll see you again next time. Bye.
Bye.